and gentlemen, to The Night is Young. I wonder how absurd I can make this.
I don't know. This whole recording from home thing is really throwing us off of our usual flow.
Yeah,
That's what I've
having
noticed.
the microphone in front of you is so much nicer.
Having the microphone directly in front of you instead of in between you makes
I
it...
feel like I'm fighting for the microphone right now.
I'm fighting for my life!
Anyways.
So, this is The Night is Young on 97.1 WPCX. Or this is TGI Friday, the podcast, on PCBlueTube's YouTube channel.
Man, you know what's crazy? And I just realized...
What's up?
We didn't do the call sign for a single one of those shows that we've recorded so far.
They know
This
what
is like
they're
the
listening
5th
to.
or 6th one.
They know what they're listening to.
Yeah, you're right. They know why they're here.
Don't all the radios have a little dial that tells you what you're on?
Yeah, but...
So don't they know it's 97.1 FM?
Yeah,
The smooth.
Alright, Reeves, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, this is actually a me idea. Wait. Just in case anyone doesn't know, hi, I'm Reeves.
Oh, I'm Nick. Yeah.
And this is The Night is Young.
The show. What are we talking about?
TGI the
What are we
podcast.
talking about?
Today we're going to talk about the best classes that we have taken at Presbyterian College.
None of them. Terrible school, don't come here. None of these views reflect the idea of the students or...
Disclaimer, no views expressed in this reflect Presbyterian College, any associated student, faculty, or staff member, or WPCX, or PCBlueTube.
That was satire. It was a joke.
It was a joke!
I'm
sorry!
It's a great school. You should come here, please. Don't cancel me.
So let's talk about some of those great classes that we've taken. Let's just start from the beginning.
Okay.
Think about all of our semesters.
Are we
and go through
going
it.
in like order?
Yeah.
Okay.
From the beginning, you know.
Okay.
My first semester, I've talked about it before. I think it was in Why PC is Hard. I took a class with Dr. Heiser that was medieval England and France. And, you know, I was not exactly the most knowledgeable of incoming first-year students.
you were merely a young whippersnapper.
So I just immediately jumped into a level 3000 class, a capstone prereq, and
You were like, this will be fine.
I was like, this looks fine. It was not.
Little did he know.
It was so hard, Nick. And, you know, we went over a lot of great information. I learned a lot about stuff that I had never known, even though I thought I knew a lot about history.
Nope.
I didn't really know anything about Charlemagne, not that much about Joan of Arc. And you know who I knew the least about that I ended up learning the most about?
Who? Jesus?
Charles the Hammer Martel.
Alright, I have no idea who that is.
He was a French king who, basically the Moors, a group of Muslims from Africa, were trying to come into Vatican City and claim it and conquer it and, you know, kill the Pope.
Naturally.
So Charles Martel took about 7,000 men or so, marched from France to the Vatican City, and defended it against about 80,000 people trying to invade.
Alright. How did he do that?
He was the hammer, bro.
He was just a mad lad.
He was an absolute savage. Just really good positioning and really good military leadership. I actually did my final project in that class on him, and it was called Bringing Down the Hammer, Charles Martel.
Oh, that's actually such an
I
awesome
know,
title.
right? Like, I love coming up with good captions. I mean, titles and captions, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I also took my intro to theater class that semester.
Oh, before you killed the theater
Before
department.
I killed the theater department.
Okay.
For anyone that doesn't know, I killed the theater department, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. I didn't think that I was going to like theater. Like, I really didn't. And I ended up being a pretty big fan of it. So much so that I would end up taking it again the next semester.
And then that's when you killed
Yes.
the theater department. Okay.
And we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Alright, so
That's really the only two that I can super remember from my very first semester.
my freshman year, let's see. Oh, excuse me. I took political science, I took a Heiser class, I took intro to bio. But it was like a level 1000 class. It wasn't for the bio major because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Oh, I took English. That was fun.
I think I took an English my very first semester. I think I took it with Dr. Barr, and I did, because me and him had a debate on if Catcher in the Rye was a good book or not.
Oh, yeah.
It's not.
It's not. It really
It's bad.
isn't.
It's boring, and anyone that actually is like, wow, this book is so good. The only reason you think that it's good is because you relate to Holden Caulfield. if you were late to Holden Caulfield,
means
that's
you're old.
because... No, it's not that you're old. It just means, like, wow, you need to really get together and figure everything out.
Jacob, honey, you want to take that pizza home watch tonight?
Sure. I can do that.
It's in the,
Featuring my mother.
in the refrigerator.
Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 90s Young. We had to take a quick intermission there because my mother decided to ask Reeves a question. And Reeves, I know the audience has a question as to why my mother called you Jacob.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, that's my first name. I don't go by it anymore.
And if you really want to get under his skin, call him Mr. Jacob.
Oh,
Reeves, don't freak out. There's a cockroach in front of you. We're going to pause the show again. We'll be right back. All right.
Oh!
All right, we're back again.
Oh!
All right. We just had a fighting for our life right now.
My heart is pounding.
Yeah,
I don't like cockroaches.
Oh my god, we got to pause the show again. Oh, man. That was...
Oh, lordy.
Wow.
We got it. Nick got it.
Yeah, that was.
It ended up coming at him.
It charged at me. I had to. He caught the smoke.
He really did. So what would... Oh, man.
It's my turn to talk. It's my turn to talk about my classes.
Go ahead. What's a cool class you took first semester?
I
or
honestly
first year?
didn't. I didn't take any cool classes. I literally just took gen eds. None of them were really that interesting. But my second year.
I guess it's my turn, because you mean second semester?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead with your second semester, and I'll do mine.
I don't know what I took my second semester, to be completely honest with you.
Did you do anything cool?
I don't know. I don't remember at all.
I took a U.S. history class, and it's not really a cool class. It's just a, U.S. history
you're a
you
pretty
do for the
cool
history
cat.
major.
Yeah.
But I have a cool story about it.
Okay.
Our midterm started at 8:30, and I woke up at 10:42.
Oh.
I sprinted to class.
Yeah.
Got there before it was done. He was like, "Here you go ahead." And I had until 11:30 to finish it, and it took me like 6 minutes.
Oh, it was just super easy.
It was just multiple choice that I
okay.
knew. But yeah, that was the closest I've ever gotten to getting a 0 on a midterm.
Oh, that would have been really tough.
I also took a class my second semester called the acting process with
Right.
Dr. Raglan.
Oh, is that? Oh, it's
Yes.
another
This is
theater
theater.
class.
It was really cool. You kind of go through the process of how to get into being a character. And I didn't realize that we had one assignment where we were supposed to go to the mall and people watch and then come back with a character based on that.
Right.
I didn't do that
Oh, okay.
because I didn't want to drive all the way to the mall.
Right.
So I just made one up as a preteen girl that was spoiled by her dad.
Right.
Little did I know that would become my character for the semester.
Oh.
Name was Tiffany for the rest of the year.
Oh, you really did it to yourself.
I did it completely to myself. But I kind of nailed that role. And it was a lot of improv. And I just kind of fit into that.
I feel like we could improv pretty well.
We probably could. That's basically what we're doing right now.
That is.
We hit the record button and we start, baby.
We're just like, this is the topic we're going to talk about. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, my second semester, I don't remember anything. Sophomore year is when it kicked off. Declared my major as a bio major. So I said, you know what? It's time to knock out these bio classes. I didn't take any cool classes. It takes a really long time for me to get there.
Sophomore year, I did 2 developmental classes, child and adolescent psychology, respectively. And basically, with those classes, you go through the standard how do children develop and how do you change from that
Right.
through adolescence.
Right.
Those are cool. I thought they were fun.
Really?
Learned a lot about like Maslow, which is like the hierarchy of needs.
Really?
Pavlov, classical conditioning.
Oh,
what
yeah.
people learn.
Second semester, finished out my prereqs for starting my bio major. So nothing cool.
I took my first night class my second semester of sophomore year.
Oh, is that with was that conspiracy?
No, it wasn't conspiracy first. It was South Carolina history,
Oh, yes.
which was actually more interesting than you would think.
So what did you learn about besides South Carolina? Don't say South Carolina. Don't
Oh
say
no,
South Carolina.
it is South Carolina, but we go from its actual like Native American through the Revolutionary War in the colonies,
Okay.
through the Civil War,
Okay.
to basically the textile era and when those closed.
Oh, dude, the
So
steel
we
belt.
did a lot. Yeah, we did actually like a lot.
Dude, we were actually very awesome. And,
we were really important for a long time.
And then once the mills closed, we didn't matter.
You know what actually is what killed us, though?
What killed us?
The Civil War. Because I learned so much. We were one of the major states in the Revolutionary War.
Right.
Like, basically, England didn't even worry about the North because during the winter, so many people died.
I mean, yeah, it's free.
Just from it being cold.
Yeah.
They were like, whatever, let's go get the South. And they came down here, and they just could not get us.
And then the South said, "What in the world are you doing?
What tarnation?
You think that you can come here?"
It was the Battle of Cowpens is considered like the tipping point of the American Revolution.
Tipping.
Get it? Get it? See, yeah.
Oh, love this.
Yeah, you come here for the interesting topic. Stay for the great puns.
You stay for us.
Stay for tips.
I thought you said, anyways. That's very cool.
It was cool, and that was kind of like part of our punishment for the Civil War. You know, we caused it kind of.
We did.
Not really. More so, the North actually caused the Civil War, but we were the ones that left first. So part of our punishment was textbooks were like rewritten to remove our influence in the Revolutionary War.
Really?
Yeah, I'm serious.
That's just.
I just think that's kind of neat.
It's just
like I never knew.
That's just literally the winners of the winners always write history. And
Yep.
There you go.
And that's what happened. And you know, like around that time, well, really, it was the semester right before that. There was a class offer that I wanted to take, but I didn't get, and it was the JFK conspiracy. Which, man, I can't imagine. Although I did hear that it kind of gets repetitive because you can kind of only hear so many JFK conspiracies until they're all the same.
Yeah, I'm sure aliens is somewhere in there.
It probably is.
That was such a fun time when I went to watch that movie with you.
Oh, we'll talk about that in my next
yeah.
semester.
All right,
Do you?
my
This is now first semester,
junior
year.
I took genetics and organic chemistry, arguably the hardest classes in the bio major catalog,
Okay.
in the same semester.
Wow. Is there a reason, or?
My advisor at the time said, "Yeah, you can handle it." She's no longer at PC, so I did not handle it. I did not do well. That's actually my worst semester so far.
This last semester that just happened was my worst, but we'll get there.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I took that math and this is when I took my first movie class, film noir.
I forgot to mention my film class. That was it was my second semester of sophomore year.
Yeah.
Go ahead with yours, and then I'll go backtrack to mine.
I took film noir, which is pretty much a noir is it's a crime, and it's like an investigator, mainly told through flashbacks in black and white, and at night. That's like the definition of a noir.
Which is pretty cool. It's a cool genre.
I love noirs. They're
You
so
still
good.
argue that Knives Out is a noir, don't you?
It is.
But it's not mostly through flashbacks, is it?
It is.
Well, a good bit is, actually. Yeah, that's a good point.
I was like, it is.
For anyone that doesn't know what Knives Out is, you should go
movie.
and check that
It's
out.
such a good movie.
I really enjoy that. The other day, Nick and I were actually talking about like our favorite more than movies, but like films. You know, like you're really connected to the characters.
You're gonna go see a show.
Yeah, that. You're really connected to the characters and the plot, and like you're staying for that more so than just like haha movies or action, explosion, stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
And I argued that like the best one that we've recently seen, there's Joker and there's Knives Out. And Knives Out, that's a sleeper hit.
That's such a good movie.
But now that we're on like a little bit of movie discussion, let me backtrack to my first film one. It was Film and American Culture. That's what it was.
Okay.
We do have a Southern film circuit, which I went to a lot of. I got to go to like dinner with some like directors and like actors. Kind of cool, but they're kind of like indies. So
yeah, nothing.
Regardless, no, I didn't like. I haven't met Quentin Tarantino or anything like that.
Oh my god,
you know?
if you met Quentin Tarantino.
Without telling you, just this is how I bring it up.
I'd be so mad. I'd be like, why did you never tell me this?
Well, you never asked. But the Film and American Culture class changes its specific topic of what it wants to look at in American culture every time. Okay. So, when I was in it, it was fear in American culture. and the ways that films reflect culture-wide fears. So we did Get Out was the first one.
That's a good movie.
And it was like basically race issues, like race exploitation and how that's still like a fear in modern times. That led to, we watched School Ties. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. I think you might actually would enjoy it. It's a Jewish kid that goes to a Catholic school and has to hide that he's Jewish.
Really?
Yeah.
It's about a Jewish kid?
No, but it's actually extremely entertaining.
Okay.
And then eventually they find out.
What do they do? Are they just like...
They're like, oh no!
They're
A
like,
Jewish kid, and then they bully him.
they're just like, what are you doing?
Yeah, basically that. That's where I got to see The Exorcist for the first time.
Oh, dude, your mother's a heart.
That one. I love that movie.
That's
for anyone
such
that
a
doesn't
good
know.
movie.
It really might be my favorite scary movie, because that first time you watch it, you should watch it in a small group, middle of the night, no lights.
Oh, absolutely.
Because when we watched it the first time and Chelsea was there, and we made Chelsea sit next to that super long, dark hallway, she was spooked out the entire time.
Dude, the first time, like, something spooky happens in that movie, you're just so not ready for it.
Because it's fast.
Yeah, it really is.
You know, a lot of, like, modern horror, I don't like that word, horror movies, they'll actually kind of, the build-up, you get little snippets of like, ooh, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you don't have truly scary moments until late in. But that movie, they just grab you by the throat and they're like, you're going to be scared now, huh? And you're like, okay, yes sir.
I'm scared.
It's a crazy movie. And then we ended up, we watched some movies that aren't traditionally considered horror movies. Like we watched Catfish.
I mean, that's not really a scary movie. But
It's not, but that's the thing. There's that kind of reflection of that fear of not knowing who's on the other side of the computer screen.
And that is pretty scary.
It is, actually. Like, it's not as bad for, like, us, because we're 22-year-old men.
Yeah.
But, for a long time, especially, like, as a kid, you don't really think about it. But then in retrospect, you're like, oh, my God, who was I on Webkins with?
Probably a pedophile.
That might have been. You don't know.
More than likely, a pedophile.
Let's see. First semester of my junior year. Cool classes I took. I took a night class then as well. And this one was Conspiracy in America.
Oh,
and
my
wow,
God.
it really might be my favorite class that I've taken.
That was a fun class, and I wasn't even in it.
Yeah, I know.
I loved hearing about all the stuff.
Our very, very first book that we read, we have to read one book a week, except for 1 week where we had to do like kind of like a mini project on 9/11 and a bunch of different conspiracies on it, which I'll talk about that in a second, because what I did is absolutely crazy stuff that I'd never heard about. But it was by Jesse Ventura, the former independent governor of Minnesota, I think it is.
I don't know.
Something like that.
I'll fact check it.
He's literally, like, it was crazy because you don't ever really hear about an independent holding a major position. And, like, he was a sleeper. Before that, he was a Marine, and in between being a Marine...
Governor of Minnesota.
Minnesota, okay. In between being a Marine for the U.S. military and governor of Minnesota, which while he was governor of Minnesota, he went and ate dinner with Fidel Castro, by the way.
Oh, so he was...
Like, Castro was like, hey, I want to talk to you. Will you come down to Cuba and have dinner with me? And he was like, all right.
He was like, I guess.
You know what he did in between those two?
What?
He was a professional wrestler.
What an absolute Chad.
What a life, right?
Absolute Chad.
That's a crazy life. That was our first book. And it just went crazier from there.
Isn't there what... Didn't you read something about how...
Yeah?
It's like the United States tried to destabilize itself or something?
Yeah, actually. It was a almost... Basically, it was almost a totalitarian dictatorship in America. Which was during the Second World War, I think. They did it where they were going to create a position, which was the Secretary of Internal Defenses. And then as part of that, Congress was going to vote to give it martial law, like implement martial law, and give him complete control over the U.S. government.
Right.
And the only reason that anyone knows about it and that it didn't happen is the guy that they picked was like, hey, rest of the world, check this out.
And then the rest of the world was like, hey, wait a minute.
Actually, no. The rest of the world was like, yeah, okay. Whatever, this guy, I'm sure. The New York Times said that it was something along the lines of a feeble ploy for attention by a man who has nothing, especially not his dignity.
Wow.
So then Congress was like, you know what, sure, we'll look into it for you. And then they were like, oh. Basically,
no.
all of the big robber barons, you know about Carnegie, Roberts, all those people, you know,
right.
barons of industry and all that,
right.
the titans of industry,
right.
They were the ones doing it, trying to pay off congressmen.
That makes sense.
So that would happen. And then Congress was like, no, it definitely looks like this happened. We believe he is telling the truth. That's what that special committee found. And then all those medias that made fun of him, the New York Times especially, not even a full page about it.
They're like, yeah, whatever.
Like a little snippet where it's like, by the way, this happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess they didn't want to freak people out. Or they didn't
Or
want to
they were in on it.
What?
Surely not.
No way.
And you know, while we're on it, let me tell you, this was what the crazy thing about when I did that mini 9/11 project was. Afterwards, they went to the, what do they call it? Ground Zero? Something like that, I think?
Yeah.
We might be wrong, but I think that's what they call it. And people went, like an independent third party, and they got, like, air samples.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were looking for. I guess, like, debris to see if it was, like, harming the air quality. Guess what they found?
What?
Nano-thermonuclear devices. Military-grade nanobombs.
I don't even know what that is.
They're microscopic bombs.
What in the world is that?
Bombs that are really small.
Give it to me straight, Doc.
Small boom, dead.
Stop speaking all this funny magic.
Boom boom, tiny man.
Alright, now you're starting to make sense.
And this is like completely legit. Like, they found insane levels of it. And it's the kind of technology that even now, like, we don't really know about.
I don't. I've never heard of a micro. What'd you say? A nanobomb?
A nano-thermonuclear device is what
no.
it was called on the article I had to read.
No clue.
No, that's what's so crazy about it, right? Like, that is like secret military technology. And the reason that it's important is because it was found in the rubble. So it was probably inside of the buildings. Now, let's say that it was Al-Qaeda, right?
Yeah, some dudes in the cave have access to that.
How do they have that technology?
How do they have
That's
it?
the thing. How do they have it?
I don't know. Maybe they were given it.
But by who?
The United States government.
And then now that's the second question. Let's say that it was Al-Qaeda that had it. How did they get it inside the building?
The United States government.
Yep. That's the only answer. That was a crazy class. That was really fun.
Yeah, no, I went with you to watch the JFK movie, and I still like go on YouTube and watch clips from that movie.
If you guys
Back
have never
into
seen
the
that
left.
JFK movie, you
Back
absolutely should.
Into the left.
That's real. Like that, everyone has now seen it. I'm pretty sure the now famous film of JFK being shot, where he goes back and to the left. And then what's so important about that, and what I never understood until that movie, Lee Harvey Oswald was behind him and to the right of him, or I think he was to the left of him.
Yeah, he wasn't.
So if he was shooting from behind to the left, you would fall forward to the right.
Right.
Because that momentum would push you forward and over.
Classic theoretical physics can prove anything.
Well, that's what's crazy. I don't even know if the theoretical physics proved that one.
No, I don't think they could.
They proved the magic bullet theory, which if you don't know what that is, we won't go too much into it and be boring, but it's some crazy stuff.
It's pretty much a bullet exited him and came back 9 times.
It's some pretty crazy stuff.
The moral of the story is theoretical physics can literally prove anything.
They kind of can. If you get into theoretically these could happen, then yeah, you can prove anything. Look, theoretically, I could try and lean against a wall, and all of the atoms could miss, and I could fall through it.
Yeah.
And be stuck in that wall.
Obviously.
It's kind of like spontaneous combustion. Theoretically, I could just catch on fire and explode at any moment.
To be fair, that did happen to a lady.
That's what's weird. I don't get it.
Like that lady.
Theoretic physics are right. But anyways, that would now lead us to second semester of our junior year, a.k.a. when COVID happened.
This is when I discovered that Dr. Rishbeater is an absolute Chad and the greatest person in the bio department.
Okay. What class?
I took botany, and I took evolution.
So what is botany again? That's like plants, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's like the cellular level of plants.
Okay. So what do you do in the class? Like
you take cross sections of different kinds of plants, and you look at their cells, and you draw them.
Cool.
It's really boring, but Dr. Rishbeater made it. We had fun with it.
And then what was the other one you took? Evolution?
Yeah, and that class is awesome. I had so much fun with that class.
Evolution seems like it would be a cool class to take. And obviously, I probably couldn't even, like, at this point do it because I'd be lost.
Yeah.
But it seemed like if I did bio, that would probably be one of my more, like, favorite classes.
Yeah.
Would you say that's the favorite class you've taken so far?
Paleo is a close second, but yeah, evolution's definitely my favorite science class I've taken at this school.
Let's see, what was I taking? The two big classes that I was taking at the time that I really enjoyed was one that might surprise you, Earth Science.
Oh my god, with Dr. Wanless.
Dr. Wanless. And let me say that he is a character. If you guys ever have the opportunity to take Dr. Wanless, who's a physics teacher, you should. But Earth Science, a strange one, because as he describes it, it is a mile wide and an inch deep. Because you kind of just get the basics of a lot of stuff. Everything from the water cycle, stars and the cosmos, a little bit of evolution and fossils, which goes into him not agreeing with that being a thing because he doesn't believe the Earth is old enough for that.
What does he think fossils are?
Pagans.
Pagan what?
I think it's pagan ritual devices. In fact, anyone who's listening, you can actually check out his book. I think it's Defeating the Green Dragon, which is in the Presbyterian College library.
It is in the library if you want to check it out.
It's something along those lines. But it actually is a very interesting class, just especially if you're not someone doing sciences. You just kind of need it for the lab science, gen ed. And it was neat, you know? Got to do a lot of different stuff. Learned about tsunamis and earthquakes, things like that. No tornadoes, which was kind of a bummer.
Oh, big bummer. Tornadoes are awesome.
But then my other class at the time that I thought was really interesting was Theories of Personality, which we went basically psychologist by psychologist in a straight shoot of all the ones that focused on the different ways that your personality is influenced and compared their theories to one another.
That actually sounds really cool.
It was fun. Like, I really enjoyed that class. There's a lot of Freud in it. I don't know if you know anything about Freud, Nick, but
not a single thing.
Freud's a crazy dude. That's the guy that basically says all boys want to have sex with their mother, which is why they end up acting like their fathers because, you know,
I personally do not want to have sex with my mother.
Same.
That's just me though. I don't know. Can't speak for everyone.
There's a lot of crazy stuff in there. Like that class, if you're doing psychology, I highly recommend it. I did it with Dr. Brandel, and wow, it was really fun. I was actually really upset because I'll go ahead and let everyone know, and we'll talk about it more with the semester that just concluded. I suck at focusing if it's on Zoom.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty bad at it too.
Like, I can't really do online courses.
I wish that I could.
Oh, I would love to be able to, because there's a lot of opportunities to do free online courses on certain websites, if you know what they are.
Yeah.
And I would do them just to kind of have the interest. I almost took one offered from Harvard on telling the weather from, like, visual signs without any instruments.
That actually sounds really cool. Can you send me that?
If I can find it again, then yes, absolutely. But, like, it was like a 7-week class that I was going to take. It didn't transfer over, which is why I ended up not doing it.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm kind of glad I didn't, because there's no way I'd be able to focus on that.
Yeah, no. I mean, online classes are it's very difficult to... It requires a high level of accountability, to say the least.
And we've talked about before, like, there's no one to teach that to you when you first get to college. And that sudden amount of how much you had to just have that accountability because of COVID, exponential.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was insanity. But that brings us to this last semester that we just took. I didn't really take that many, like, super crazy classes. I took the prerequisite for my Gen Ed on the Crusades, which the Crusades are always interesting. You know, it's just such a... It's a crazy time. I'm actually doing mine on the Spanish Crusade and trying to take Spain back from the Moors. That's going to be what my actual capstone is next semester, too.
Really?
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, I think.
Very cool, very cool.
And I also took my psychology capstone, which was less interesting. It was just so much information.
It was just a grind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we go through the entire history of psychology.
That sounds absolutely terrible.
It was too much. It was genuinely too much. Because on top of that, you have to do a presentation solely, like, student-directed on, like, this is something going on in psychology right now, and here's the history of it, and how it's changed over time, and here's where the future directions are going to go. I did mine on race relations within the judicial system.
Really?
Yeah. It was actually a pretty interesting one, with a lot of interesting things that I learned that I wouldn't have thought of, but I won't go too far into that. We could probably do an entire episode on that if we really wanted to. But what about you this last semester?
Classes? I took physics. That's the hardest class I've ever taken in my life. I took physics 1500.
What is 1500? That's like a physics intro, isn't it? Like if you're going to go into a physics major?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's just so terrible.
We talk about that in our PC's hard episode, if anyone's interested in some more about it and our thoughts on that. Didn't you also you took paleo this year, didn't you?
Yeah, that class was so much fun. So
tell me more about paleo, because you would always mention it kind of in passing and we would never really, like, talk about what that means.
Yeah, alright, so paleontology is pretty much, it's just, it kind of ropes everything together. Wow. Kind of ropes everything together in the paleo world. So, it ties in, like, paleobotany, micro, it's like micro, paleo, yeah.
Maleo?
It's like microfossils, stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
Paleoecology, did I say botany?
Uh-huh.
I did?
Yep.
Yeah, all the different kinds of paleos.
Yeah. So it's kind of like an intro to all the different ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
We mainly focus on paleobotany and paleontology, which is like everything. Yeah. Like everything that's dead.
Oh, okay, yeah. You do a lot of fossils in that, don't you?
Yeah, we draw fossils. Actually, we don't touch fossils for about a month.
Oh.
We start with just rocks, and you look at rocks, and you're able to identify like the composition of the rock, like what kind of was it made of. Yeah. What kind of grain size it has. It's a chew test. You chew rocks.
That happens to the best of us. I thought one of the rules of science was not to put stuff in your mouth.
Not in paleontology. You actually put the rocks in your mouth.
All right.
You don't obviously like take a bite out of it. You take like a little like section of it and like put it in your mouth and chew it, and it helps you decide like figure out what kind of rock it is.
Okay, cool.
What else? But anyways, yeah, you talk about rocks, and then after you're done with rocks, you figure out what kind of rocks you got. Then you talk about types of fossil presentation, how to identify it, how to like look for cool stuff in it. Yeah. What time frame it's from, stuff like that. It was just really cool. Like just being able to see something and being like, wow, this is 4 billion years old. That's crazy.
Yeah. Unless you agree with Dr. Wallace.
And everything is like 10,000 years old? Yep. I like the most.
You know, this last semester, I also took the hardest class that I had ever taken, and mine was research statistics. And I really think if I would have done it in person, it wouldn't have been as hard.
I just can't imagine.
Look,
I just can't imagine.
I don't know how you can do a math online like that. It didn't work for me. I couldn't do it. And by the time that I realized I was not doing well and tried to panic and fix it, it was too late.
Yeah, that's how it always works.
Oh, it was bad. That was not good. Well, all that's left is our next semester. I'm doing my internship right now. I actually go to an elementary school. I go to Fountain Inn Elementary.
Oh, welcome back. We had to take a quick little break there. My father had walked in and he decided to talk to us. It's like they just know we're recording and they just want to talk to us.
I think they're just trying to get on the show.
I think they're jealous.
That's probably it. They never got to be radio stars like us.
Yeah.
Or podcast stars like us.
Yeah. Anyways, where were we?
My internship, it's kind of cool. I get to work with a lot of kids. So
Sounds like fun.
It's actually been not as bad as I thought it would be. Because I kind of change what I do every day. So some days I'm doing like guidance. Some days I'm doing basically a substitute. Some days I'm working in the front office. Stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's helping me a lot with soft skills like public speaking.
Yeah.
So that's beneficial.
That's definitely a good skill to have.
And I think it's also helping a lot with organization. Monday I have to turn in my first journal. I have to make sure I remember that or else I will be in trouble.
Do you want me to set a reminder for you?
I can do it on my phone after we're done.
Are you sure?
I'll probably remember.
Oh, you're not going to remember. I can't wait to get that text Sunday night. Oh my god, I forgot to do it.
Oh my god, my journals, dude. I actually just, sorry for that intermission. We once again were interrupted. And you may be able to hear Rusty the dog drinking some water behind us.
She's going crazy.
Absolutely crazy on this water, bro. I actually got an email about PC Summer Fellows. And I know you never did that, but I'll talk real quick because I did that between our first and second year.
Yeah.
That's really cool because it's essentially a capstone that you get paid to do.
Yeah, I know. I remember talking to you about that, and that was really cool that you got that opportunity to do that.
I did mine, and this is going to be a lot of big words, but I'll explain it after I say it.
Big words. Oh.
The lack of justification for the canonization of Joan of Arc.
Oh, yeah, you hate Joan of Arc. I totally
I
forgot.
do.
I didn't know that you were sexist, Reeves.
It's not a sexist thing. It's just because... So basically, I won't go...
Once again, we want to reinstate that the ideas and things discussed on this show do not reflect the views or ideas of Presbyterian College,
WPCX, or any affiliated student.
Yes, so please continue.
So basically, what I was able to find evidence of and what was enough to convince me was that Joan of Arc, on the day of her execution, renounced God and said that the voices that she heard were the devil tricking her, and that she said if there was a God, he would be protecting me.
Okay.
So I don't understand how she became a saint.
Makes sense to me.
Also, she really saved one city. That's it.
Just one?
Yeah. Technically two, if you really want to be technical, because she was involved in taking a city, but it was really one.
So, she's really not all that.
I do not think she's all that or a bag of chips. And then there was also evidence of her being like, despite constantly being like, I'm better than all of these people claiming that they're prophets from God because I'm a virgin. There's evidence that she was actually sexually involved with the other troops and soldiers that were there.
How many times?
I don't know an exact number, but enough for there to be multiple eyewitness accounts of her physically glowing after private prayer sessions with people. And what's interesting to me is that, like, a lot of what she did on her day-to-day was going on these little mini pilgrimages to these other women that were claiming to hear the voice of God and trying to disprove them.
Really?
Yeah.
It's almost like she just wanted to be the only one.
Kind of.
The center of attention.
Kind of, yeah. And then after she died, her brothers got someone to pretend to be her and go around to cities in France and be like, hi, it's me, Joan of Arc, back from the dead.
What?
Now, here's the thing, and why I still argue that there is no justification for canonizing her. They didn't want to canonize her. The Catholic Church wanted to do Christopher Columbus instead. But there was huge public backlash because of, leading to the death of millions of Native Americans.
I mean, he didn't really do that on purpose.
I mean, I don't think he did it on purpose, but, he did it.
It's kind of like that one guy, what's his name? He's got the funny mustache.
Oh, Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, that guy, yeah.
But regardless, getting out of that, Summer Fellows is a really cool thing to be involved in. Anyone that's listening, if you're not a graduating senior, you should definitely try. You have to have someone who's like a faculty advisor to do it with you.
Yeah.
But you're going to get housing on campus and a $2,000 stipend, and the faculty advisor gets a $1,000 stipend to basically just help you.
It's pretty epic. I wish I had done it.
It was really cool.
I really wish I had done that.
Moving on from that, that's a cool little plug for them.
Did I talk about what class I was taking?
No, next semester, upcoming semester. You've got to do an internship as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it with DNR. If I don't get to do it with DNR, then I'll just do it with some random bloke and see what happens.
What are you hoping to do with DNR? Just like park ranger, basically?
Yeah, kind of stuff like that. They have this one opportunity where you get to walk around and look for like mushroom and weed farms.
It does sound cool, but it sounds dangerous.
That sounds epic.
Yeah.
Hopefully I get to carry a gun or something. Maybe they'll give me.
I feel like you would have. Maybe not you, but like whoever you're with.
Maybe they'll give me like a Gucci Glock or something. You know?
Probably.
Like a 40,
hollow point.
A 40 bang. You know.
The Yeet Cannon. Yeet Cannon 2.
A Yeet Cannon 2 maybe.
Other than that, you doing any kind of cool classes this upcoming semester?
Yeah, I'm taking survey of Western film. Very, very exciting class. I'm very, very excited.
And is that only going to be Westerns?
Yes,
like
it's only
Cowboys?
Only Westerns.
That'll be kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I'm really, really excited.
And that's with Dr. Thompson, so that's going to be neat.
Our boy.
I wonder if you're going to watch the iconic The Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
Oh, I really hope so.
You probably will. That seems like the number one Western, you know?
I think that is like the most, well, I don't know, True Grit's pretty well known. I don't know.
I think it's The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, just because everyone knows the wow wow. Like, everyone knows that, no matter who you
I
are.
feel like I nailed that.
You kind of did, I won't lie. Next semester, I'm doing forensic psychology, which I think will be cool. Spanish.
Hopefully you pass Spanish.
Yeah, I really hope I pass Spanish. If not, I'll be back next season.
I'll see you guys next season. My name's Guy Fieri, and I'm coming back.
And I'm also doing the first Gen Ed for history.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You just forgot to go to that.
Okay,
class.
yes. So I tried to do that last semester with Dr. Heiser. I thought I wasn't gonna have to do it at all because I did it as an AP class in high school. But then they were like, "No, it doesn't count. You only got 3." And I was like, "Oh, 3's passing," and they were like, "Yeah."
You were like, "That's epic."
And I was like, "All right, sounds good." And I did it with Dr. Heiser. Went on syllabus day, and he was like, "Awesome. We won't meet in person until next Wednesday." I never went back. I just forgot.
You literally never went back to that
I missed
class.
3 tests before I dropped it.
That's so. I that's just such a you
I
thing.
think I still have the email from Dr. Heiser saying, "Reeves, another test missed? ? What's going on?"
What's happening?
And I was just like, "Oh, Dr. Heiser." I think I responded back and said, "Oh, by the way, I'm dropping the class."
Naturally.
What else was I going to do?
There was literally nothing else you could do.
At that moment, I just have to tuck my tail and accept my fate. And, I'm taking another night class. I've decided to do one more before I leave. It's U.S. Diplomatic History.
I think that's going to be such a cool class.
I think it will, too, because I don't exactly know, but it seems like it's going to be a lot of, like, how has America's relationship changed with X, Y, and Z.
And you're going to be like, they hate us.
And you'll be like, why does nobody like us?
But
and
then
he's gonna show us exactly why no one likes us. And I'm going to be like, dang it.
And you're going to be like, then again, they never liked us. They hate us.
'Cause they ain't
us.
I'm hoping I'll be able to do this at some point and make the argument that Pearl Harbor was caused by Teddy Roosevelt.
What did he do?
Basically, so he created this huge navy called the Great White Fleet. And then you know what he did? He was like, let's go to Japan and show them this so they'll open up their borders and trade with us. And he just took the entire U.S. Navy to Japan and was like, hello!
Hey!
And like guns locked and loaded. And Japan at that point was still like way of the samurai, you know?
Yeah, they were still like
They had not modernized.
it makes
Like,
sense
at
to me.
all.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they saw that and they were like, oh man.
We need to make big bolt.
They realized they needed to modernize. And then they did, and kind of, you know, when you start to modernize, you become a bit more imperialistic.
You're like, maybe, just maybe, we should make that.
Yeah. I mean, really, as soon as everyone becomes more modern, they start to form a little bit of an empire throughout history so far.
I mean, it makes sense to me. That's what I would do.
So then Japan went into China, Korea, started going to the Pacific Islands. The next thing you know, it's World War II, and there's Pearl Harbor, which, fun fact, a conspiracy theory that I learned in conspiracy class about it, the U.S. government knew it was going to happen and decided to let all those people stay.
Oh, no, yeah, they knew it was going to happen.
Yep.
No, they absolutely knew it was going to happen.
Pretty suspicious.
I mean, that is pretty sus.
Pretty sus. FDR, if you're listening, we're on to
Pretty
you.
sus, dog.
That's really all the classes I've got left at PC.
Yeah, same.
And then, next thing you know,
Off to better,
off to graduating, walking across the
greener
stage.
pastures.
It's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy.
Kind of scary.
Very scary. Very scary.
Hopefully I find a job.
Do you have any other... Oh, you know what you could do for a job?
What?
You know who's got a salary and benefits
What's up?
in Georgia?
What?
School bus drivers.
Really?
No, I'm serious. When we were down there doing a tour of an apartment, which you can see on PCBlueTube, I think I made that video. I think so.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. I have not yet made our full Exploring Savannah video because I lost my ability to edit because my laptop died.
Woo!
And you guys can go and check that out on PCBlueTube. But while we were down there, they did like a commercial on the radio about it, and I was like, salary?
Benefits?
A CDL? What more could you need?
You know what CDL kind of sounds like?
CDB.
You know what CDB is?
Weed.
Ha
Stonies? You guys can learn more about what Stonies is on PCBlueTube on TGIF, the podcast, The Stony Special, where we talk about my dream restaurant.
Also known as weed.
Yes, weed.
None of the things described.
Well, let's see. Let's check a little time check, make sure that we're doing good. 47 minutes!
Whoa!
Wow.
Doug's really gonna kill me for this one.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy! Well,
I guess that's it.
I guess there's only one thing left to do, and that's the outro.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for viewing, appreciating, observing this episode of Thank God It's Friday and The Night is Young. I wonder what I've been saying.
I don't know. I really don't know. If you're listening to this on the radio, this is 97.1 FM WPCX Clinton, smooth as jazz in the upstate.
Even though we don't really play that much jazz, but
maybe we will.
Maybe
Who
we
knows?
will.
I don't know.
You know, if you start listening and you start, asking for it, I mean, my little,
maybe the
little jazz.
tagline should be 97.1 FM WPCX The Hodgepodge.
That's not bad. I kind of like that.
The Hodgepodge.
More on that later.
We'll figure it out. And until next time, I'm Reeves.
And I'm Nick.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thanks for...
See you guys later.
Okay, bye.